Imagine waking up and seeing your neighbor wearing an enemy uniform in 1861. For thousands of Americans, that wasn't a nightmare, it was reality. This is the story of when the United States went to war with itself. The Civil War didn't just divide a nation, it split towns, it split families, even neighbors. In 1861, battle lines weren't always clear. In Missouri and Kentucky, communities tore apart, brothers wore different uniforms, streets became front lines. This wasn't just North versus South. It began as a political crisis, but it turned into something darker. Neighbors aiming rifles at each other. West Virginia broke away from Virginia. Missouri streets saw rival militias clash. Imagine waking up and not knowing if the man across the street was friend or foe. The Civil War wasn't always fought miles away. Sometimes it was fought right at your doorstep. In border states, loyalty split like cracks in glass. Soldiers marched through familiar fields, sometimes against men they'd grown up with. At dinner, families sat together, but some wore Union blue and others Confederate gray. History tells us North versus South, the truth. It's far messier. In Kentucky, towns switched sides in days, churches split, newspapers printed rival editions, some houses flew two flags, each claimed by a different family member. The front line ran through people's hearts. Picture this, the fields where you played as a child now echo with gunfire. In Missouri, the government split in two, rival militias clashed in backyards, civilians woke to chaos because in this war, the enemy's face was one you knew. It's one thing to fight a foreign invader, it's another to fight your own people. Border states became battlegrounds for loyalty itself. West Virginia's birth came from defiance. Town halls turned into shouting matches, and your fate, it might depend on which side you swore allegiance to. The Civil War wasn't fought on faraway fronts, it was fought in living rooms, on the Mason-Dixon line. Neighbors changed sides overnight. Union troops marched past homes with Confederate flags. One day, your best friend shares a meal, the next, he's leading a charge against your street. Imagine a war where you can't tell friend from foe, not until it's too late. In border states, families split, towns burned, arguments turned violent. Soldiers didn't need maps, they knew every road, every hill, because they weren't just fighting on home soil, they were fighting for it. Most say the Civil War had two sides, Union, Confederacy, but in many places, there were three. The people caught in between. If you chose one side, you risked the other. If you stayed neutral, you risked both. In this war, even silence could be deadly. Some states refused to choose. Kentucky tried to stay neutral, but war doesn't respect neutrality. Both armies marched in. Fields became battlefields. For the average person, there was no safe place. The war found you, whether you wanted it or not. Think war is only about armies clashing. Think again. During the Civil War, sabotage was everywhere. Railways were destroyed by men who once rode them. Bridges burned by former friends. Every handshake could hide betrayal. The Civil War didn't just destroy cities, it destroyed communities. West Virginia's break left bitter scars. In some counties, Union and Confederate recruits marched from the same courthouse on the same day and long after the war. Some wounds never healed. Civil wars make the familiar dangerous. Your grocer, your blacksmith, your childhood teacher, any one of them could be your enemy. Every smile could hide a threat. The Civil War proved the deadliest battles are the ones closest to home. It wasn't always about uniforms. In small towns, your accent could betray you. One wrong word could mean arrest or worse. This was a war of battlefields, but also a war of whispers. Border states became a chessboard. Armies moved in and out, but neighbors decided who ruled next. Towns switched hands, sometimes twice in 1 week. To survive, you had to adapt because today's liberator could be tomorrow's occupier. Some battles lasted hours, others lasted for decades. In people's memories, West Virginia split from Virginia, tore families apart. The map changed, so did dinner tables and friendships forever. In border states, war was always near. Cornfields by day, battlefields by night. Farmers plowed land where soldiers soon fell. Children played in fields that would be stained by dusk. They called it brother against brother, but it was more than that. In Missouri, even tiny villages raised rival militias. Friends who hunted together now hunted each other. Sometimes loyalty meant survival, and survival meant switching sides. The front lines didn't stay still, they bled into daily life. Dinner arguments turned to shouting matches. Churches served both sides in the same week. The meaning of American was rewritten, and no one agreed on the definition. When the war ended, the land healed, but the people did not. In once united towns, trust was broken. Every handshake carried suspicion. The war was over, but in people's hearts, it had only just begun. The Civil War ended in 1865, but the scars it left never truly healed. If you want more untold stories of history's most shocking moments, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join me for the next chapter.